Right now in Shenzhen, China, engineers have built a battery that can fully charge a car in just 6 minutes. Not 60 minutes, 6 minutes. That is faster than most people take to brush their teeth and make coffee, and it does not wear out, it does not degrade, it does not slowly die after a year of daily use the way every other fast-charging battery does. That last part is the real story, because charging fast is one thing. Charging fast 10,000 times over 10 years without losing your range, that is something else entirely. That is what CATL just figured out. And the way they did it is going to change everything. If you enjoy videos like this, hit the like button and subscribe. It is completely free and it genuinely helps the channel grow. Now, before we get into the engineering, I want to tell you something. The 6-minute charge time is not even the most impressive part of this story. The real breakthrough is something much smaller, much quieter, and happening at a scale you cannot see with the naked eye. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you are going to look at electric vehicles very differently. But here is the thing most people miss. Speed was never really the hard part. The hard part was making the speed last. And to understand why that matters so much, we need to go back to the very beginning of why fast charging was ever a problem in the first place. Why fast charging has always been a trap. Think about running as fast as you possibly can. After a few seconds, you are gasping for air, your legs are burning, and your whole body is generating a massive amount of heat. That heat is the sign that your body is working way harder than it wants to. Now imagine doing that sprint, not once, not twice, but every single day for 10 years. Your body would break down fast, not in a dramatic, sudden way, but gradually, quietly, until one day you try to sprint and realize you just cannot do it the way you used to. That is exactly what happens to a battery when you charge it quickly over and over again. When electricity flows into a battery, tiny particles called charge carriers move around inside it. The faster you push them, the harder they have to work, and the more heat they produce. Think of it like forcing more water through a garden hose than it was designed to handle. The hose gets warm, the pressure builds, and over time, the material starts to weaken. And heat is a battery's worst enemy. Here is a number that will make this real for you. For every 10 degrees Celsius warmer a battery gets, it ages twice as fast. Double the speed of aging for just 10 degrees of extra heat. So, if a battery gets hot every single time you fast charge it, it is going to wear out at a frightening pace. This is why so many electric cars that promise ultra-fast charging come with a catch buried in the fine print. Yes, it can charge fast, but do it too often and your battery capacity starts to shrink. After a year or two of regular fast charging, you are getting noticeably less range per charge than you did when the car was new. The battery is dying slowly and quietly, one fast charge at a time. You paid for a car that could go 300 miles on a single charge, and now it barely manages 220. That is not a small inconvenience. That is a significant chunk of the car's real-world value quietly evaporating, and there is nothing you can do to get it back. The frustrating part is that this problem was understood for a long time. Engineers knew heat was the enemy. They knew fast charging produced heat, and yet for years the industry essentially shrugged and called it an unavoidable trade-off. Want speed? Accept that your battery will not last as long. Want your battery to last? Charge it slowly. Pick one because you cannot have both. That was the accepted wisdom for most of the 2000s, and most car makers designed their products around it. Some limited fast charging speeds automatically to protect the battery. Others let you charge fast, but quietly warned you not to make it a daily habit. The whole situation was a bit like selling someone a sports car and then telling them not to drive it too hard. Every major battery maker in the world was wrestling with this problem. Most of them accepted the trade-off as real and permanent. CATL decided it was not.
They decided it was just an engineering problem that had not been looked at closely enough. And the place they started looking was somewhere most engineers had not thought to look: deep inside the battery, at the molecular level, where the real cause of heat generation was hiding in plain sight. The hidden enemy and the invisible doorman. Here is something that sounds almost too simple once you hear it. One of the biggest reasons batteries heat up during fast charging is resistance. Think of it like traffic on a highway. If you have a wide, smooth, open road, cars move fast and freely. But if the road is narrow, full of potholes, and constantly merging into fewer lanes, cars slow down, bunch up, and the whole system grinds under the pressure. The heat inside a battery is basically the result of charge carriers fighting through that kind of rough, Resistive road? Every single time the car plugs in. More resistance means more heat. More heat means faster aging. It really is that direct. CATL's engineers went through their battery design with a fine-tooth comb and found 3 separate places where they could widen the road and smooth out the potholes. The first solution is almost poetic in its simplicity. They made the cells shorter, trimmed down to around 300 millimeters in length. The reason this works comes down to a basic principle. Resistance is directly tied to distance. The longer the path, the more resistance the charge carriers encounter along the way. By making the cells physically shorter, CATL shortened the commute for those charge carriers. Less distance to travel, less resistance to fight through, less heat produced as a result. It is the engineering equivalent of moving your office 2 blocks from your house instead of an hour away. Same job, dramatically less effort. The second and third improvements go a level deeper into a part of the battery that most people have never heard of. And honestly, once you understand what it does and what CATL did to it, the whole thing starts to feel less like engineering and more like solving a mystery that had been hiding in plain sight for decades. Inside every lithium battery, there is a microscopic layer sitting on the surface of the anode, which is one of the 2 main electrodes inside the cell. This layer is so thin you could stack thousands of them on top of each other and still not match the width of a single human hair. Think of it as a tiny, invisible doorman standing at the entrance of a very exclusive club. Its job is to let the right gas lithium ions pass through freely while blocking everyone else from getting in. Without this doorman, the chemistry inside the battery would turn destructive within days. The battery would eat itself from the inside and fail almost immediately. So, this layer is not optional. It is fundamental to how the battery functions at all. But here is where the story gets complicated. When you fast charge a battery repeatedly, the heat and the high current put that doorman layer under enormous stress. Over thousands of charge cycles, the layer starts to crack and break down. And here's the part that sounds amazing until you understand the cost. The layer heals itself. It actually rebuilds after being damaged, which seems like a great feature until you realize what it uses as building material to heal itself. The layer pulls lithium from other parts of the battery, and that lithium is consumed in the repair process. It does not come back. Every single time the doorman layer heals, the battery permanently loses a tiny bit of the active material it needs to store energy. Do that over hundreds and then thousands of fast charging sessions. And the battery that once gave you 300 miles of range now gives you 240.
Brine evaporated under the sun for months, shipped halfway around the world, then refined in one of 3 countries. Sodium is sitting in seawater, in salt flats, in the ground, basically everywhere on Earth. No leash to those 3 refining countries. That alone rewrites the cost math. And with lithium prices swinging the way they do, CATL is betting sodium gives it a permanent floor under its costs that no lithium maker can match. But that's not even the most impressive part. Now, here's where the skeptics usually pounce. If sodium stores less energy, the battery must be useless. That was true for years. Not anymore.